Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, July 8. If you are watching live on Monday, July 8, you're welcome to call in if you have comments or questions. Our call-in number is 769-1677. As always, you can watch us live on Cablevision or Verizon Cable TV, and also live on PCTV76.org. And within a couple of days of the meeting, you can also pick up on-demand webcasts indexed by the subject at PCTV76.org. Our next regular meeting is in 2 weeks, Monday, July 22 at 8 p.m. with a work session at 7. Although, Patty, we are considering revising that schedule based on the...
Well, we're going to have a presentation from Benchmark and their professional consultants, and it will require that they set up, and the question came up today whether or not that would interfere with our work session at 7. Because they'll need about 45 minutes to set up their systems here, so
Okay.
we can all view this. So we were thinking perhaps to start our regular meeting at 7, and then have our work session follow, just switch our agenda. So they'll come in at 6 o'clock, they'll set up.
That's a good idea.
7 o'clock we'll roll. Shane said he's
Okay.
available.
Will it take much for them to break down what they have to set up?
No, once it's set up.
Okay, is that
Should be easy.
agreeable to all?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
so let me just revise that.
Thank
Our
you.
next regular meeting is Monday, July 22. The regular meeting, which is televised, will begin at 7 p.m. instead of 8. The reason for that is that we are expecting a presentation by the representatives of Benchmark Senior Living presenting further material on their proposed project for a senior assisted living complex up adjacent to the Methodist Church on Bedford Road near Maple Hill. So we'll also get the word out to the neighbors that we have contact info for, to give them advance notice of that. So again, the regular meeting in 2 weeks is going to take place at 7 p.m. instead of 8, and we'll follow that regular meeting with a work session in order to work out the logistics of the applicant setting up for their presentation.
So just to be clear, that's not going to be televised, though? Or
Yes, it is.
The
It is.
benchmark presentation will be
Yes.
televised as well?
Correct.
Okay,
The
great.
televised meeting will start at 7 p.m. That's our regular meeting, and we'll have resolutions and all, and then we'll go to work session after that.
Televised work session.
The televised.
Our regular work session, not televised, will take place after the televised session.
No, but his
But it's-
question
but
was,
that's when
is
the
that
benchmark meeting-
Benchmark will come at 7 p.m. and we will have a
They're
regular
presenting at your
televised
regular
meeting.
meeting.
Oh, they will, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I was under the
I
impression.
thought it was
if
important
I
enough
were
for them to
clear.
do
Right.
that. It's a significant
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah,
Might as
no,
well
I
put
think
on
as many
film,
people as possible should be able to see it.
Particularly
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
this time of year.
Big announcement to put on your calendar next Saturday, this coming Saturday, July 13, is the 9th Annual Pleasantville Music Festival down at Farrows Field on Marble Avenue. There's a lineup of 10 bands, performers of various other kinds. There's a whole slew of vendors. Going to be a great day, as always. So the Pleasantville Music Festival, Saturday, July 13, that's this Saturday. Get yourself to pleasantvillemusicfestival.com, and you can get all the information, and you can also buy your tickets online, right online at pleasantvillemusicfestival.com. Because of all the activity we have down in that area for the music festival, our recycling center, which is normally open from 9 to 3 on Saturday, will not be open this coming Saturday, July 13. We know that's a frustration to some who like to or need to bring their recycling materials down to the DPW yard, but we have too much activity going on down there to do both things at the same time. So the recycling center is closed this coming Saturday because of the music festival. A couple of other things to report. Patty and I have been on a series of emergency planning sessions, having gone to a training program that the county offered a couple of weeks ago, and then meeting with Con Edison last week. And all of that has provided some useful information, and I think it's helpful, among other things, to report that Con Edison made a very impressive presentation about the work they have been doing to revise their practices and to improve their response time in a situation like Sandy. And they certainly have put together a series of things that will make it easier for us to communicate with them and for them to communicate with us if we were to find ourselves in a similar situation. I do think the takeaway from all of that is that it's clear that if we had an event the scale of Sandy, people would still have to expect that they would be out of power for multiple days. There are simply not enough resources available, even in the Northeast, to respond to a problem at the scale that existed last fall and get everybody back online within a couple of days. So the reality is Con Ed has done, I think, quite a bit of good work, and they're very clear about the areas they know they need to make improvement on. We have done a series of things on our side of the table, and I think all of you should do the same, recognizing the possibility that your home could be out of power for potentially a week or more if there was a catastrophic storm. So everybody needs to give some thought to the question about what they would do in that circumstance. Fortunately, when it happened the last time, it was cold but not freezing. It's possible that such a thing could happen in the winter when your home would be potentially out of power and thus out of heat. Everybody needs to give some thought to those kinds of emergency planning questions. We've mentioned in the past, and we're at in the process right now of putting together a mailing that will come to all of you reporting a number of things about our emergency planning, but in particular the fact that we have contracted with a program called Code Red, which allows us to contact you through telephone calls, through text messages, through emails, and we're going to ask each and every resident of Pleasantville to try to log in, sign up, give us the information about how to contact you in whatever way you wish to be contacted. So that's part of our process of improving communication in the event of an emergency, and you can all be looking for something in the mailbox on that fairly soon. Happily, it hasn't rained too much in the last couple of weeks, and the sawmill has not closed again, but we continue to press that, and I'm happy to report that a meeting with the various involved players at the county has already taken place, and a meeting has been scheduled for the week after next that will involve all of the top brass of the involved county departments, as well as all of the people at DOT, and we will have more to report about that in a couple of weeks. So just want you to realize that we're working hard on that front, and I personally would say that the efforts made by individuals who have started petitions and made calls and sent emails are all very helpful. Many voices are stronger than just one, and it is a big help, and I congratulate all of you who have gotten going on that and encourage everybody else to weigh in. The village of Pleasantville cannot be solely responsible for taking the hit on what is a problem on a state road when it starts closing as frequently as it has in the last few months. The impact on our village is huge, and of course the impact on everybody who traverses the sawmill is huge. Literally tens of thousands of hours have been wasted, and so we're pushing pretty hard about both near-term mitigation as well as a long-term plan. So more on that as soon as we have it to report. Farm market continues every Saturday,
Going real strong.
8:30 till 1.
One.
Great array of vendors. I want to remind everybody that the farm market this year is run by a new management entity, and that is Food Chester, which is a new not-for-profit that arose out of our Pleasantville Farm Market Committee, and just is one further example of an incredibly effective bunch of people who have taken a good thing and made it even better. So congratulations to all of them, and get yourself to the farm market. It's a fun time, and you'll come home with lots of good stuff. Anybody else have anything on the
I
announcements
just wanted to know,
list?
as far as Sandy was concerned, that there was, as bad as it was, that there was no water event. So just imagine if we got the water. So as far as the mayor was saying, prepare yourself. That's really what, it could have been so much worse than it was. And I know it was really horrible for a lot of people that were out of power for many, week or so. But imagine if we were flooded as well. I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, and just absolutely flooded, or if it happened in the winter. I mean, I think one of the takeaways from the sessions that we've had with Con Ed and with the county is that in a couple of respects, everybody is scratching their head and saying, we may need to reconsider what we once believed to be a once-in-a-lifetime kind of event may no longer be a once-in-a-lifetime kind of event. One of the folks from Con Ed indicated that in terms of kinetic energy developed by Hurricane Sandy, even though it was not even rated as a hurricane at the point it made landfall here, it was one of the biggest storms ever to hit this region in recorded weather history. So amazing stuff, and as you probably have read in the paper, Mayor Bloomberg has proposed a multi-billion-dollar possible plan to build seawalls around New York City. So, I mean, the The reality is we can't prepare ourselves for everything, but I do think every homeowner has an obligation to their family and to their property to think, what would I do in X, Y, and Z eventuality? And recognizing the very real possibility that you could be out of power for a week or more in varying degrees of weather, it behooves everybody to give that matter some thought. So we'll have more to say on that, and we'll be mailing out some stuff on that front as well. We'll get some stuff up on the website. So while we're at it, kudos to Colleen, who's been working on our website. Why don't you just comment on that?
We've been working on a website. We're using the provider that we've had because it was basically free to us to revamp. I think the original website template we had was their original template. So we actually met with all the management. The board now has looked at it, and we're getting very close to rolling it out, not live, but where we can all view it. And then we'll roll it out to the community as soon as we can. I think people are going to be very pleased. Not only can we communicate with you, but it will give everyone an area and a section to communicate and offer comments and suggestions to us. And we'll be highlighting that, and as well as putting a code red sign up there. We'll be working on that. So by September,
Right.
we'll be
Also,
live with that.
At the moment, converting all of the forms from the various different departments into fillable PDFs, so stuff can be downloaded, stuff can be filled out quickly
Yeah.
and easily. It's being done on a sort of maximum value for minimum cost. So that's the credo for the times. All right, let's go to the resolutions. 171. Oh,
Resolve
I'm
that.
sorry. Was there any comment from the public? Anybody? Oh, welcome.
Comment on what you just stated?
On any subject at all. Thank you for reminding me of that. Just let us know who you are and where you live.
Sure.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Lori Belfiore, and my husband, Tom Belfiore, and we live at 79 Highview Terrace in the Village. Very tall, steep street across from Foxwood Condos. I've lived in the Village for over 20 years. This is our third house, actually. We've lived there since December of 2010. And I have a long history of working with the building department. I've worked with Mike Testa on my previous houses, and I've worked with him and the village in other respects. The issue that brings us here today is the repair and maintenance of a retaining wall on our property, which we found out is also located in the village right-of-way. We had a contractor who did some general maintenance work around our property, and he identified a problem with the retaining wall. He said that it was structurally unsafe. So the repair and maintenance was initiated by us, not as for aesthetic purposes, but for maintenance and necessity purposes. The wall had 2 very large cracks in it, and he questioned the structural integrity of the existing retaining wall. It was old and obviously in very bad condition. The reason why that's so important is because up in the front of our property is where we park our cars. Our driveway has, or our property has some geographic obstacles which cannot be overcome. Our driveway is literally about that steep. It has an incredibly steep slope. The street is here, the garage is here. The prior owner, I was told, when he would park his car in our driveway, when there was snow or ice on the driveway, he would sometimes slip down his driveway and crash into his garage doors, or he could not get up his driveway. So we need the right-of-way on the top of our property so we can park our cars, because we cannot use our driveway when there's snow or there's ice on the ground. So we engaged a contractor to do repair and maintenance on the wall. He was about 75% done with the repair and the maintenance when we received a stop work order on our property. So we stopped work. I spoke to Mike Testa. I engaged him. I asked him what the problem was. I asked him how to resolve the problem. He said that because the wall encroached in the right-of-way, that I needed to come to the board so that the board could forward us to the planning commission or some other commission so that we could get a building permit and that we could finish the construction on the wall. He told me that I should send a letter to the board, which I did. I hand-delivered to the village clerk on June 7th, and I had individual folders for each of you and explained the problem that we encountered, and I expressed a desire to work cooperatively with the village so we could finish construction of the wall. 1, it's unsightly. 2 is we need to park our cars there. 3 is there is a very large hole which constitutes a hazard which continues to exist on our property every day, and it's a possible liability for us as well as for the village. I explained the issue to Mike. He understood. He said send a letter. We sent the letter. I followed up 2 or 3 times with the village clerk. I didn't get a response. And then I finally got an email back from Patty Dwyer, who said that the board had considered our request and had declined to act on it. I'm here basically because I'm not sure that you understood or that I communicated adequately the immediacy and the problem that we have, because we cannot leave this hole on the front of our property in the right of way. We would like to finish construction of the wall. We want to work with the planning department, the building department, or whatever department or commission it is we need to work with, so that we can make sure that the wall is structurally safe and you know, is in compliance with the village code. But the status quo cannot remain. You know, I believe that we are entitled to a process to be heard. We haven't really received that process. I'm an attorney, I'm a municipal attorney. I understand the need to be heard and to have a process and to be able to put our case basically forward. I don't have all of the documents that I gave to you in the folder, but it was a letter, a survey,
No, we got it.
photographs.
We got it, for sure. Right.
And so we concluded. I mean, we want to work with you, we want to resolve the issue. We just need to bring the matter to a conclusion once and for all. The status quo, just, it cannot remain. So we're basically here to say, I'll answer any of your questions that you have, but honestly, something just needs to get done. I can't leave that hole in the top of our property.
So, I mean, we did receive that, and we did discuss it. Were you unaware of the fact that you couldn't make these improvements on public property without advance approvals?
I didn't think we would need the building permit because it was a pre-existing wall. Last year, we had sent a request to the board because we wanted to get off-street parking, and we wanted to pave it. And we were told that we couldn't, I was trying to make it nicer because we also plow that area, because we have no other place to park our cars. That's the only place we can park our cars, so that we are not in the street, we're not obstructing any traffic. We asked to pave it because the soil and the dirt and the item 4, because there's a very large crack in that wall, it would pour down, and when there was rain, the dirt and the debris would pour down our property. We have nice deep erosion patterns in the front of the property. So Patty Dwyer said, you know, you can't pave it, you can't improve it. I was like, okay, that doesn't thrill me. Aesthetically, it's nicer to pave it. There are, you know, if you're familiar with the street, there are at least 7 or 8 houses who have paved, improved right-of-way parking areas that are immediately adjacent to the street. But the board said no. So we abandoned that.
I mean, our problem, having nothing to do specifically with you, is that there are lots of people that would like to annex public property for a variety of uses that are important to them for reasons that are easy to understand sometimes, and sometimes not so easy to understand.
Right.
It's hard to establish anything other than a pretty bright line between, you know, what's yours and what's the public's. So, which you must be sympathetic to as a municipal attorney.
I think our understanding and why we failed to apply for permits was, we thought that because the wall itself was, I think, 12 feet, if not more, off of the street line, is that, and because of its condition, that we were intended to just repair the wall, and then we did extend the wall.
And you made it bigger.
We made it longer,
Right.
we did. And then we were hoping to restore it to the item 4 that it was, with no
Right.
intention to pave or improve. And that was, I guess, our misunderstanding is by focusing on that, we thought that's what we were denied to do, but we did have a right to repair the wall. And
But,
make it
I
larger.
mean, whether you had a right to repair the wall is one thing. You certainly didn't think you had a right to make the wall bigger, did you?
We couldn't repair the wall. Contractor said, you can't repair the wall. It's got a huge crack in it. He made it.
I mean, it's sort of a
Yeah,
circle.
I didn't.
Okay.
Yes,
I think-
yes,
I
it's
understand.
circular.
Okay.
It was an existing wall, so we were trying to maintain
Okay.
it and repair to make it
How
proper.
about this? How about this? I would be more than happy to come visit, and maybe that would be
I'd be more than happy
means
to
of.
have you come.
And I will come. So, if you, does Patty have your phone number?
Patty must have.
I do,
my
yeah.
phone
Okay,
number.
I'll get it from Patty, and I'll
on the
call you.
letter.
It was
I
in
will-
that package.
I'll call you. I'll call you tomorrow.
That would be great. I would
Okay.
appreciate that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
All right, any other comments or any call-ins at 769-1677? All right, 171, Colleen.
Resolved that pre-check register dated July 8, 2013, covering check numbers 75835 through 75976 for fiscal years 2012 through 2013 and 2013 through 2014 have been reviewed and they are hereby approved as listed below. Coming from the general fund, the water fund, the capital fund, the refuse fund, and the pool fund, totaling $84,833.52.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved, 172.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees has reviewed the minutes of the meeting held on June 27, 2013, and they are hereby approved.
Second.
Any comments or corrections?
Yeah, under Resolution 168, the amount of the truck sale is not matching under the resolved. It should be 195.6, and it just says 195.
Good eyes, Colleen.
That was it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 173.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the anonymous donation in the amount of $100 towards the Clinton Street Center Seniors Program.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you to an anonymous donor, the continuing stream of support we get for our senior center. All in favor?
Can I make one comment?
Sure.
That 173 and 174, you just need to delete the names up top. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yes, I agree. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
174, Ryan.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby approves the request from the Pleasantville Swim Team to use a barbecue grill at the Pleasantville Pool in conjunction with their awards banquet on August 1, 2013, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a good time. 175, Colleen.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following budget amendments for fiscal year 2011 through 12 as follows. To increase revenue expense for water supplies, moving $8,700 from non-resident repairs to water transmission supplies. And to transfer funds for over-budget accounts. We're moving $14,691 from judgments and claims to contractual services, $1,142 from unallocated insurance to law contractual services, $540 from unallocated insurance to central technology equipment, $9,300 from snow removal, sand and salt to maintenance metered parking lot, $889 from parks administration equipment to parks field lights, $578 from pool equipment to pool supplies, $303 from pool equipment to pool utilities, totaling $27,443.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're just going to note that we have a little gremlin in the computer. This is fiscal year 2012-13's resolution.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. We had a couple-
I was hoping we could have spent it last year.
Yes.
Yeah. Reluctantly, the second or
Yep.
three.
Gremlin in the computer, I like that.
176.
Resolved that the Board of
Leave it on
Trustees
the
has
key.
hereby authorizes compensation to Elijah Garrison for attending a basic course for peace officers at the Westchester County Police Academy, February 16th through May 4th,
Yes,
2013.
yes. Is there a second?
Second.
Patty, you want to explain this?
Sure. Elijah is one of 3 peace officers we use for justice court, for court protection and security. They all are required to complete basic training as if they were going to be, because they are carrying firearms.
Right.
They have to go through the same basic training that police officers go through. Eli had a break in service that required him to be recertified, and in order for him to work in our court, he needed to go through this program. He needed to be sponsored by a municipality in order to attend that program. So I discussed with him a compensation rate of $20 an hour, so this will be $1,980 for his training. And as you know, it saves us a considerable amount of money having part-time peace officers handle our court needs. So this
Should
is,
that amount be in the resolution?
it can be, absolutely, yeah. Not to exceed $20 an hour.
Okay.
His
Authorize
rate of
com-
pay is $24 here.
And
Well,
it says 99, he already
compensation-
completed it, correct?
Yes, he's
So
completed.
it's 99 hours?
Compensation
Yes.
for 99 hours at $20.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay with seconder?
Second.
That's Jonathan.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion
Aye.
approved. Thank you, Eli, for doing that. 177.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby declares the local law amending Chapter 185, Section 35.1, regulated wireless telecommunications facilities will have no environmental impact, and further authorizes the village administrator to sign the CEQA short environmental assessment form.
Is there a second?
Second.
This is a negative declaration under the State Environmental Quality Review Act for the introductory law that we will discuss in the next resolution to post for public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. 178.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village clerk to notice a public hearing for Monday, July 22nd, 2013, 8:30 p.m. prevailing time, 80 Wheeler Avenue, Pleasantville, introducing a local law amending the Village Code, Chapter 185, Section 35-1, regulation of wireless telecommunications facilities.
Second.
Do we need to change that because we just changed the time?
We were just chatting about it, but I think benchmark will be at least an hour, so this should be okay. Prevailing time, 8:30.
Okay.
That should be fine.
Well, shall we say 8?
8 o'clock would be fine.
Then we'll be covered, right?
Right, a little
So-
early.
Prevailing time.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So revise that to 8 p.m. instead of
We need
8:30.
to,
We wanna get out.
if we need to, we'll go to
Wishful
Mountain Time.
thinking.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think it's 7.
Is that okay with
Prevailing.
second? All right, so
Send them out.
we engaged attorneys with some specific telecommunications and cable TV expertise to review our existing telecommunications code, and they have come back with a number of recommended changes, and that is the subject of this public hearing to be held 2 weeks from today at 8 p.m. Patty, can we get the text of this on the website?
Yes, and we have a summary memorandum I'll post as
Okay,
well.
great.
So people don't have to deal with all the dry language in the
All right,
in the
That it
local law.
is.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. 179, no, it isn't big table. We're going to authorize it, but not take action. 179.
Okay.
You get the long ones, though.
I thought we were gonna table this,
You can,
because it names an underwriter in there.
yes, you are gonna table it.
We are gonna
I
table it.
thought,
Oh, good.
I thought the
Yep.
plan was to authorize but not to act.
No, it
Okay,
said,
great.
the last email basically said,
All right.
you know, just hold off.
179 has
Sorry,
been
Nick.
tabled.
Here. And then that's it.
That's the end of our resolutions. Is there any new business, new announcements?
No.
Okay, so the takeaway for tonight is this Saturday, July 13, is the Pleasantville Music Festival. Get yourself to pleasantvillemusicfestival.com. All the info is there. Buy your tickets in advance. If you don't think ahead to buy your tickets in advance, show up anyway and buy your tickets at the gate. Come down Hopper Street to the main gate and buy your ticket for a great day of music, food, and fun. We will have Captain Lawrence, as always, at the Beer and Wine Garden, and this year, the Art of Wine, providing wine as well. Great day, PleasantvilleMusicFestival.com.
Great day.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. See you in 2 weeks. And be reminded again, our televised meeting 2 weeks from today is at 7 p.m., not 8, to accommodate the setup for the people from Benchmark Senior Living who will be making a presentation to us that will be part of the televised meeting at 7 p.m. Thank you.